What's up, guys? We're here with Goran from Pickdawgz, and you're here for your free soccer picks for Sunday, September 3rd. Well, guys, we have another interesting day in the European soccer, and after Sunday, we are going to the international break. We have some Euro Cup qualifications. We have some World Cup qualifications in South America. So stay tuned for that, guys. And of course, feel free to check out the rest of the free picks up on the Pick Dawgz YouTube channel. We do have a lot of those. I know that the college football season has started. Baseball still going on. Whatever else we have, I don't even know. So check it out, guys. Subscribe and hit that like button. Like I said, we have an interesting day in Europe as far as soccer goes. We have some interesting matchups in the EPL. We got a few great games in Serie A as well, LaLiga, and so on, so on. So let's get this show on the road. Crystal Palace against Wolverhampton. That's the first game of the day in the EPL. It's a game that starts at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Overall, we haven't seen a lot of offense from these two teams. They have both scored only 2 goals so far this season, but Wolverhampton also hasn't been that good defensively. They have conceded 5 goals in 3 games. But overall, I would say these two teams had a decent start to the season. Wolverhampton is on a 2-game winning streak. Crystal Palace hasn't lost any of their last 2 games, and also Crystal Palace hasn't lost to Wolverhampton in any of their last 4 home games over the last I don't know, few years or so. Um, I would have to lean towards the home team, and that is Crystal Palace here, simply because they have been a little bit better defensively. But it seems like Wolverhampton has a decent amount of offense. They just couldn't score a goal, but they have been creating a decent amount of chances. And for that reason, I'm going to go with both teams to score in this one. I think it's going to be a very competitive game, and I think that both teams will try to get a win out of it, especially Wolverhampton, who will try to stay on that nice winning streak they are on. So, Crystal Palace against Wolverhampton, I'm going to go with both teams to score. In the next matchup, we have Liverpool facing off against Aston Villa, and Liverpool has actually been quite impressive so far this season. They have 2 wins and a draw. They actually got a win against Newcastle last week, 2-1 on their own. That was after they conceded a red card, which means that Van Dijk will be out of this game because of that red card. And that's going to be a pretty huge blow for Liverpool's defense here. The defense that hasn't been solid as is with him in the lineup, and I don't think it's going to get any better without him. As far as Aston Villa goes, they have won 5 of their last 6 games. They are on a huge 4-game winning streak. They have been scoring a lot of goals. In their last 2 games, actually 3 games, they have scored 11 goals, conceded only one. That is conceded only one in their last 4 games. Total of 15 scored goals during those 4 games, and in my opinion, they have been one of the most impressive teams in the EPL so far. Now, they do have a few injured players. They are missing a couple of defenders, couple of midfielders, but even without those players, they have been quite outstanding. So I think there is a case to be made for Aston Villa here, but I'm gonna take their team total instead of choosing the sides. I'm gonna take Aston Villa team total over 1.5 goals. It's plus 155. I think that's an outstanding price on a team that's been scoring a ton of goals, and on a team playing against a very sloppy defensive team such as Liverpool. So I'm gonna go with Aston Villa team total goals over 1.5. We are going to finish the EPL day with Arsenal versus Manchester United derby, a very, very big matchup. And Arsenal hasn't lost to Manchester United in their last 5 home games. However, they're coming off of a draw against Fulham 2-2 from last week, and that was an unfortunate result for them. But before that, they were on a nice, nice winning streak. As far as United goes, they also had a pretty sloppy start to the season. They got a win against Wolves. They lost to Tottenham, and then they barely beat Nottingham Forest 3-2 last week at home. And their offense hasn't been going that well, but Hoyland should be ready to play in this game. It was already announced. I'm not sure if he's going to start or not, but I'm sure he will get some minutes in this game. Now, I think this is going to be a very, very competitive match. I think we're going to see a ton of chances on both sides. Neither defense is solid right now, so I think it's going to be all out offense. And for that reason, I'm going to take over 10.5 shots on target at plus 102. That's between both teams combined. And like I said, I think we're going to see a fairly open match. And as soon as we see one team getting ahead, everything's going to open up. And I think we're going to see a ton more from both of these teams during the entire match. That's for the EPL, guys. That's it for the EPL. Now we are moving on to La Liga, and we have Mallorca playing against Athletic Bilbao in the first game of this video as far as La Liga goes. And they are actually pretty big underdogs at plus 225 right now. And I understand why, because they haven't won any of their last four games, while Athletic Bilbao on the other side is on a nice two-game winning streak during which they've scored six goals and conceded only two. Now, the home team has had a lot of success in this matchup, and Mallorca, when playing at home, has been quite decent. They haven't lost in any of their last three games. Against Bilbao when playing at home, and they have been scoring quite a lot of goals when playing at home against Bilbao. Now, they also scored two goals against Granada, but still ended up losing that game 3-2. But in this game, being the home team, they will try to bounce back, they will try to get the win. And for that reason, I'm going to go with both teams to score, which is plus 104. The books are not expecting it. I like it quite a lot, I got to say, because I think that Mallorca definitely has enough to score a goal here, but they are not solid enough defensively to keep a clean sheet against Bilbao here. Atletico Madrid and Sevilla are facing off in the next matchup, and Sevilla is actually on a four-game losing streak. They are not playing well. They are scoring goals, but they are not defending well, and they still haven't won a single game in La Liga this season. They have lost all three, as a matter of fact. While Atletico Madrid actually hasn't lost to Sevilla in their last five home games, they are still undefeated this season in La Liga. They had an amazing game against Rayo Vallecano, which they won 7-0 on the road. Now, usually when that happens, teams tend to fall back, fall behind. They kind of lose themselves, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that here. I still think that Atletico Madrid will get to the scoreboard simply because they are in such a great form. They have a lot of offense. They're quite effective. But then again, I also think that Sevilla will score a goal here. So I'm gonna go opposite of the books, at least what the books are thinking, and I'm gonna take both teams to score another 2.5 goals, which is plus 128. Final game of the day in La Liga is between Osasuna and Barcelona. Now, Osasuna got a draw against Club Brugge in the Conference League 2-2, and after losing the first leg 2-1, they got knocked out of Europe. And that has been quite unfortunate because they had a 2-0 lead in that game in the second leg. Everything was going their way, and then somehow they led in two goals and they got knocked out of Europe. Now, I believe that Osasuna will be a bit tired after that game. They had two rough matches. They had rough 2 weeks, and they haven't won any of their last three games against Barcelona, who, let's be honest, hasn't been at their best, at least defensively. I saw those goals they conceded against Villarreal, and it was quite hilarious, if you ask me. But then again, they did show some offense, and they're still undefeated in their last six games. So I am leaning towards Barcelona, of course, because they have more depth, they have the quality, they are slowly heating up. But I think that Osasuna will try to do something here. And with that in mind, I think that Osasuna will also be put under a lot of pressure because we know that Barcelona likes to play with a lot of possession. And when I saw this line on cards on Osasuna, I simply had to take it. So I'm gonna take Osasuna over 2.5 cards in this game. It's minus 107. I honestly think it's a very low line, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get a couple of cards in the first half alone. So instead of choosing the sides or goals, I'm taking Osasuna over 2.5 cards at minus 107. We are off to the Italy now and the Italian Serie A, and we have Inter playing against Fiorentina. Now, Inter so far this season has been outstanding. They are on a five-game winning streak. They haven't conceded a single goal. They've scored four goals. But Fiorentina on the other side has been quite effective when it comes to scoring goals, and they are also coming off of a nice win against Rapid in the UEFA Conference. In the UEFA Conference League, and they have qualified for the group stage. Um and if anyone can score against Inter right now, it's gonna be Fiorentina. So I'm gonna go for the full value out of this game. I'm gonna take Inter to win and both teams to score, which is plus 230, and I think it's gonna be a highly competitive game. Of course, we have to give the edge to Inter Milan at home, and given their current form, I think they will get a win, but not by keeping a clean sheet. Empoli and Juventus is the second game we have to talk about in this video, and Empoli is still at the bottom of the table, 0 points. They have lost both of their games, conceded three goals, haven't scored a single goal, even though they played against Verona and Monza. While Juventus on the other side had a couple of solid games in Serie A. They have beaten Udinese on the road, 1-1 against Bologna at home, and they will definitely look for the win here. They are healthy, they are ready to play. And for that reason, guys, I'm taking Juventus -1, which is an Asian line at +107, which basically means if Juventus wins by a goal, we are getting a push. If they win by two or more, we are going to get this nice win at +107. Off to Germany, guys, now, and we have a couple of games in Germany. We have Eintracht playing against Köln, and Eintracht was also one of the teams playing in Europe earlier this week, and they were able to beat Levski Sofia in the Conference League 2-0, and they have qualified for the group stage. As far as Köln goes, they haven't started the season well. They have two losses in two games, scored only one goal, and it's gonna be hard for them to get a win out of this game, if you ask me, because despite Eintracht playing earlier this week, they are undefeated in their last 11 home games, and they haven't lost any of their last seven games overall. Now, when playing at home, Eintracht also hasn't lost to Köln in their last three games, but Köln is a notoriously tough team to beat. Whoever they play against, they usually put a lot of fight in their games, and they never give up. And we know that they have a few injured players, so I'm not sure they can get a win, which is why I'm going to give it a shot at the draw. I'm going to take the draw at +250. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see another 1-1 game for Eintracht here, possibly even 2-2, but I wouldn't give the edge to Eintracht, honestly, because they might be a bit tired out of that game earlier this week they played. The second game is between Union Berlin and RB Leipzig. Now, Union Berlin keeps firing this season. They are now on a five-game winning streak. They have beaten Darmstadt 4-1 on the road last week, and that was after they conceded a red card. Uh, whether they play at home or on the road, they always put up a fight. They always play well. They always try their best. And in my opinion, they are a much better team this season than they were last season. And you know what? Leipzig hasn't won any of their last three games against Union Berlin. Now, the fact is that Leipzig has been showing us a lot of offense. They have scored seven goals in their first two games of the season. They have beaten Stuttgart 5-1 last week, and they definitely have enough quality to score a goal here against Union Berlin, the team that has conceded at least a goal in three of their last four games. So, honestly, I think there is a way to bet on Union Berlin here. I might even put a half a unit on both teams to score and Union Berlin to win. But as the official pick of this video, I'm taking both teams to score in over 2.5 goals at +102. And the last pick of this video, guys, we have derby matchup in the League One. We have Lyon playing against PSG. That's the last game of the day, and it is at 2:45 p.m. Eastern time. Now, Lyon haven't won any of their last seven games. They barely got a draw against Nice earlier actually last week, 0-0. They haven't been defending well. They haven't been scoring goals. They have been looked. They have looked like a, I don't know, basically an amateur team. And Lacazette is now Lacazette, sorry, is suspended because of the red card. Now they are getting some players back from the injury list, but you know what? PSG has been slowly heating up. They did get a win against Lens 3-1 last week. They still ended up conceding a goal, but overall, PSG is a much better team here, and I think that they're slowly improving and slowly getting into the season. So I'm gonna go with a bit of a same game parlay here. I'm gonna take PSG to win. I'm gonna take over 2.5 goals, and I'm gonna take Mbappe to score a goal at any time. It's +123. Since Mbappe got back, I think he scored like four goals or something like that in two games, and he's been basically carrying this team. And I think he's gonna do the same here in this game. So Lyon against PSG. Same game parlay pick PSG to win over 2.5 goals and Mbappe to score at any time. That's it, everyone. Thank you for joining me here. Thank you for taking time to watch this video. For my best bets, click the link in the description of this video. That will get you up to my page on the Pickdawgz website. Sign up, guys, and let's win some money together. Have a great Sunday. Good luck with your bets, and I'll see you soon with more free picks.